Good morning, students. And in today's video I am going to explain you the remaining part of the lesson in the Kingdom of Fools, written by Attipate Krishnaswamy Ramanujam, who was born on 16 March 1929, and he has written both in English and Kannada language, and he was a poet also, a scholar also, translator also, and playwright. And I told you in yesterday video that he was honored with Sahitya Academy Award, Padam Shri, and he was also the recipient of MacArthur Fellowship. So he was such a great scholar. So I also told you, so I discussed with you people the theme, the message what the writer want to give you here is: it is believed that a fool is more dangerous than a cruel person, and due to his foolishness the person can face any major calamities. And this story is based on the theme that it requires patience and wisdom to handle people who are foolish. Now in this story I told you a guru and his disciple visit a kingdom, and they are surprised to find the whole kingdom asleep during the day. Both of them understood that the people were following the instruction of the king. The guru, being a wise man, decided to leave the place as he realizes the danger of staying in the kingdom of fools. The guru leaves the city, but the disciple stay away behind to eat and be merry, because everything what he gets there is with one dodo. Dodo is a currency. Currency. So anything like from grocery, food item, okay, or anything. So it was sold for only one dodo. Dodo is a money or coin of that country. A very unfortunate incident happens in the kingdom. In the process of awarding justice to the victim, the king commits one foolish act after another and ultimately succumbs to the wisdom of the guru, who returns to save the life of his disciple. The foolish king and his minister fall into the trap set by the guru. Eventually, the guru and his disciple take over as the king and minister and restore a normal life routine in the kingdom. So this was a short background of the whole lesson, and from here once again I am going to explain the story from here. Yes. So now children, everybody is blaming on others. Okay. Everybody is blaming for the death of that thief, because he had died when he had got crushed under a weak wall that had collapsed while he was sneaking in to pursue his ancient trade. The people who were tried were the merchants whose house was burgled. He blamed the bricklayer or the mason, who in turn blamed the dancing girl who distracted him. The dancing girl blamed the goldsmith, whom she referred to as a lazy scoundrel. The goldsmith blamed the merchant for not finishing the dancing girl's order. So the inquiry completed an entire circle and settled on the same merchant at whose house the robber had been crushed by a weak wall. He was summoned again. Summoned here means called. And in his defense, he claims that it was his dead father who had ordered for the jewelry and not him. He was condemned to death. So everybody is blaming each other, and finally it was again the cycle goes to the rich merchant, and who was blamed to be the murderer of the thief. So But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. So children, here we are. From here I am going to explain you. But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. All right. What is the meaning of decisively? Means that means they have to decide. Decisively means to decide what to do. So he with minister and the other important person of his kingdom, the king decided that what he should do. He is dead, but somebody must be punished in his place. So he is telling, now his father is dead, but somebody else must be punished in his place. You've inherited everything from the criminal father of you. Now he is telling to the merchant that you have got everything from your father, whatever he had, that has become yours. So somebody must be punished in his place. Now the punishment also you should accept in his place, because whatever he had, you have taken it. So you should also be punished in his place. You have inherited everything from the criminal father of yours. So he is telling whatever you have inherited from him, his riches, as now you have to inherit that riches also, and his sins also. I knew at once, even when I first set eye on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. You must die. Now the king also blamed him. At the very moment I looked at you, I came to know that you are the root of everything, and you must die. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. So children, stake is a strong wood or metal stake in which the persons are hanged till death. So they are hanged till they die. So he told him, but since now you have no right to live, you have to die in place of your father. So the king had ordered a new stake to be built. As the servants sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal. Impaling means hanging. So the servant of the king, they have started constructing that new stake so that they could hang that criminal. Now let's see what he did. As the servant sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling. Now impaling means, I told you, here is the word. Impaling means hanging. So it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. Now children, when they were going to hang him, the person who was supposed to hang, okay, he told the king that he is too thin, he is so thin that he won't die, he won't be executed when we will hang him. He appealed to the king's common sense. The king too worried about it. Now the king was very much worried. He was very much worried that if he will be hanged in the stake and if he will not die, then that would be insult to him. What shall we do? He had said. When suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. Now children, they were all worried because it was the order from the king. Order from the king means that should be happen. That should be happening. The moment the order comes from his mouth, it should be followed immediately. So he told that if I have given order of his death, and suppose if he don't die because he is too thin, that it would be it would be insult to me. And the king too was worried now. What shall we do? He consulted his minister, and suddenly it struck to him all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. Now children, suddenly it struck to him, if thin man will not die but a fat man will die, and they started finding that fat man. Now imagine who that fat man could be. Yes, it was the disciple of the Guru. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake. and they would fit the stake, and then he would be hanged. The servants were immediately sent all over the town, looking for a man who would fit the stake, and their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas, rice, wheat, and ghee. Now, children, they started finding a fat person to whom they could stack, who could be impaled. Now, when they were finding, suddenly their eyes fell on the disciple who had become very fat, and he was consuming himself with bananas, with ghee, with wheat and rice. So now they thought that they got a man who could be easily hanged on that stake, and in this way the king order would be followed. Now they went to him, poor fellow, and he was almost in a verge of tears. He said, "What have I done wrong? I am innocent, I am sannyasi." So he told ki, "I am a saint, and what have I done wrong? I did not do. I am I am a very innocent person." That may be true, but it's a royal decree that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stake. Now, decree means order. So they told ki, whatever you are, we don't mind that, but it is a royal order. It is an order from the king that whoever is a fat man who could fit into the stake, that would be brought and hanged. And they said, and they carried him to the place of execution. He remembered his wise guru words, "This is a city of fools, you don't know what they will do next." Now, children, he was very much sad. The disciple was very much sad, and now he remembered the wordings of his guru when he told him, "Don't stay here, you come with me, because this is a kingdom of fools and anything can happen to you in this kingdom." So, but at that time he did not listen, because he was very much fond of eating, and he thought that here everything he is getting in a very cheap price. So he did not leave the kingdom. Now when he was in problem, when they were taking him for the execution, then he remembered his guru. As soon as he arrived, now the guru saw, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. Now, children, he started praying to the guru that wherever you are, you please come and save me. The guru had a magical power. He could see far, and he could see the future as he could see the present. Now, the guru was a very powerful man, being a holy man. He had a very special blessings to him, like he could see the future, he could see the past, he could tell about the past, what happened in the future he could have told. So with this magical instinct, he saw that he is remembered by his disciple. And then once again he went to save his disciple. The guru saw everything in a vision. Vision means, the guru told that a vision means seen. He closed his eyes, and everything it came in his vision that they are going to take him to the stake for the execution. Even he heard his cry also. The guru saw everything in a vision. He had magic powers. He could see far, and he could see the future as he could see the present and the past. So guru had a power to see all in all the time. He could see present time, he could see future, he could see the past also. He arrived at once to save his disciple, who had got himself into such a scrap through love of food. What have I done wrong? I am innocent. So, no, from here. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. Now, children, when the guru arrived there, just to show others, he started scolding his disciple and told something in a whisper. But then some important thing he just whispered to him, and he told him. Then he went to the king and addressed him. "O wisest of king, who is greater, the guru or the disciple?" "Of course the guru, no doubt about it. Why do you ask?" Now the king replied, Yes, it is the guru who are much greater than the disciple. And then why you are asking? Then put me to the stake first. Now children, the guru told, since I am the guru and I am greater, so I should go to the stake first. Put my disciple to death after me. And when I die, when after my execution, then you can put that disciple to death after me. When the disciple heard this, he understood and began to clamor, my first, you brought me here first. Put me to death first, not him. Now children, when the disciple heard this, he understood everything and he began to clamor. Clamor means to make noise. He told, me first. He told, no, you will not put the guru into the stake first. You will put me to the stake first. You brought me here first. He told, I am the person. I came here first. You caught me and you brought me here. The guru come next to me. Put me to death first, not him. The guru and the disciple now got into a fight about who should go first. Now children, a scene was created, okay, in which both guru and disciple, they were fighting with each other. They were fighting that among both of them, who should be first to go to the stake for the impaling, for the hanging. The king was puzzled by this behavior. Now the king was very much puzzled by this behavior. He asked the guru, why do you want to die? We choose him because we needed a fat man for the stake. Now he told, I have chosen him to death because we choose him because we needed a fat man for the stake. He told, I have to choose one fat man for the stake. You should not ask me such question. Put me to death first, replied the guru. Now he told, you should not ask me such question and put me to death. Okay, the guru very well told the king that you should not ask me, you don't have any right, because at that time children, guru was considered greater than the king. So he just told him, you should not ask me such question, put me to death first, replied the guru. Why, there is some mystery here. As a wise man, you must make me understand. Now the king was quite puzzled. He was not knowing. He knew this thing that the people doesn't want to die. But here there was a fight between guru and disciple that who will be executed first in the stake. So he told, is there any mystery here? And as a wise man, you must make me understand. He told, I am not able to understand that why you are fight to be executed to die first. So if there is any mystery, then please make me understand that. Mystery means something difficult to understand. Here it means something difficult to understand. Well, so the guru gave the answer. Will you promise to put me to death if I tell you? Now guru told that if I will tell you the mystery, will you promise me to put me to death first? Asked the guru. The king gave him his solemn word. Solemn means serious. So he was very much serious. The king became very much serious. He wanted to hear quickly what he wanted to say, and he was very much serious, so he gave the permission. The guru took him aside out of the servant's earshot and whispered to him. Now, earshot means very near. Now the guru took him to aside, okay, where the servant could hear. He took him very much far and he whispered to him. He knew the king will finish and he will foolish and he will believe him. So he just whispered to the king, do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us. We have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. Now the guru told that we have been roaming all here and there in the world, but we have never found a city like this, and we have never found a king like you. The stake is the stake of the God of justice. Then he told that this stake, this is a new stake. Actually this new stake is considered to be the stake of the God of justice. So what is the meaning of stake? The strong wooden or metal stake, so that the person could be impaled there. Impaled means hanged there. So he's telling this stake is a new, which we haven't find in any of the country, and it's new. It has never had a criminal on it, and he told this stake is the stake of the god of justice, and it is a new stake. Till now it has no criminal. It had never had a criminal to be hanged. So whoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country. So he told ki, being a wise man, I've got this much knowledge that whoever will be put to death first, that person will be reborn as the king of this city. So what he told, whoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country, and whoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. And he told ki, the next person will be the future minister of this country. We are sick of our ascetic life. Now he told ki, ascetic means a person leading a very simple life for the sake of religion. A person leading a very simple life for the sake of religion. So he is telling that we are very much sick of this ascetic life. Even we wanted to enjoy this royal life for some time. That's why it's me who wanted to die first. That I don't want to born again in the form of guru. So this is the secret. That's why we are fighting that we should go to the stake first. My lord, we are sick of our stick life. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and minister for a while. So he told me, in next life I want to be a king, and my disciple would like to be a minister. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and minister for a while. Now keep your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember. Now the guru started begging to the king, oh my dear king, now that is the reason, that's why I am asking you to put into the stake first, and afterward you can put him. So the king is very much astonished, he is very much surprised, and he believed him. He thought he is a wise person and he would never tell lie to him. The king was now thrown into deep thought. Now children, the king started thinking very deeply, very seriously. He didn't want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life. Now children, the thing is that it was his kingdom, and he did not want to lose his kingdom in the next life also. Okay. So he started thinking. He needed some time, so he ordered the execution postponed to the next day and talked in secret with his minister. Now children, he called the executor and he told the execution will be postponed to the next day, and talked in secret with his minister. It is not right for us to give over the kingdom to other in the next life. And after telling him everything, he told that it is not right for us to give over the kingdom to others in the next life. Let's go on the stake ourselves, and we will be reborn as king and minister again. So he told it's better if we will go to the stake, and in the next round of life also we will be born as a king and you will born as a minister. So he is telling, let's go on the stake ourselves, and we will reborn as king and minister again. Holy men do not tell lies, he said, and the minister agreed. Now when the minister, he was telling this thing to the minister, he told he is a holy man, he is a guru, and I know that he will never tell a lie to me. And the way he is fighting to put me to the stake first proved that he is not telling a lie. So he told the executioner, we will send the criminal tonight. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first. Now children, he called his executioner, he ordered him, and he will tell, we will send the criminal tonight. He told that in the night only that criminal will be hanged. So you be ready at night. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first. He told you, whoever will be the first man, you only have to put him to death first. And then do the same to the second man. And the second time, who will be coming to that place of for execution, then you will kill the second man. Those are my orders, don't make any mistake. And the king told, this is my order and you don't have to make any mistake. That night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison. Now children, that night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison, released the guru and disciple, disguised. Now children, they disguise themselves. That means in a different garbs they change. Okay, in the different garbs they change their clothes and everything, disguise themselves as a two, and arranged beforehand with loyal servants, were taken to the stake and promptly executed. Now with the help of the servant, they were taken to the person who was going to execute them, and they were promptly executed also. That means both the king and the minister, they die. Now, so children, that was the end of the foolish king and his disciple. In a very clever way, the guru had handled the king, and in this way a clever guru saved his foolish disciple. The Guru words of wisdom are the force which cannot be dependent upon. Anything can happen anytime in a place where everything big or small sells at a single judo. Now the disciple who started remembering the word of Guru, okay, and the disciple doesn't realize is that he is throwing himself into a dangerous situation by living in the city of the fool. And finally he realizes his Guru words of wisdom, that he had saved him. So what did the Guru do? He devised a plan. He and his disciple told the king that each one wanted to die first, as whoever would die first will be a king. The king did not want to lose his kingdom, so he and his minister died at the stake. And in this manner, in this way, the Guru saved his disciple by befooling the foolish king. So the Guru told the king that whoever died on the new stake first would be reborn as the king of that country, and whoever died next would be the future minister of that country. The king was so foolish that he believed. In fact, he told his minister also that after me you will come to the stake, because a guru cannot tell lie. The king and the minister decided to go to the stake themselves, as they wanted to be reborn as king and minister respectively. So they were disguised as the Guru and the disciple, and they were taken to the stake and promptly they were executed. Now the last page, the explanation of the last page. When the bodies were taken down to be thrown to crows and vultures, the people panicked. Now children, it was the king order that after execution, instead of burying the body, they should be thrown to the vultures, and it would be thrown to the vulture. You know what is a vulture? Vulture is a type of bird, and it eat meat. Okay, so their body, when the bodies were after the stake in that kingdom, the bodies were thrown to the crows and the vulture. So when their body was thrown, everybody thought it must be the Guru and the disciple. Then they were surprised to see that it was not the Guru and the king. It is actually the king and his minister. Because the king believed the words of the Guru that whoever died first on the stake would be reborn as a king. Similarly, the minister thought of becoming the minister in his next birth. So they decided to die. So everybody was surprised, everybody was panicked. Okay, panic means they were scared, they were afraid that how this has happened, how the guru and the disciple were not killed, and why the king and his minister were, and they were executed. So they saw before them the dead bodies of the king and the minister, and everybody was in panic. The city was in confusion, whole city was in confusion, because they thought it would be the body of the guru and the disciple, but instead what they are seeing the bodies of the king and the minister, which were thrown to crows and vulture. All night they mourned and discussed the future of the kingdom. Now children, a city without a king would be the doomsday of the city. One day the whole city will be destroyed if there is no king in that kingdom. So all night they mourned, that means they lamented. Okay, they lamented, and some people suddenly thought of the good. Now they started thinking about the future of the kingdom, that without king the future will be in the dark. So some people suddenly thought of the guru and the disciple and caught up with them as they were preparing to leave town unnoticed. Now children, suddenly some people remembered the guru. He is a wise person, and when they started finding him, they found that they are already going to leave their kingdom unnoticed. So they all came to him. They stopped the guru and they requested him. "We people need a king and a minister," said someone. Others agreed. They begged the guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. And now they started begging that we want to have a wise king like you, and we want the disciple to be your minister. It did not take many arguments to persuade the disciple. Now the disciple really did not want to stay there in the kingdom of fools. He really had enough. So after many arguments, they have persuaded the disciple to stay there, but it took longer to persuade the guru. In fact, guru did not want to stay there. He knew it is a kingdom of fools, so he did not want to spoil his life there. So but anyhow they have persuaded him. Okay, persuaded means convince him. Okay, so they finally agreed to rule. After all, the guru finally agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister, on the condition that they could change all old laws. So but the guru told that I would like to change the old laws, because we are not satisfied with the old laws here in this kingdom. From then on, night would again be night and day would again be day, and you could get anything, not for one dodo, but according to the price of that thing. It became that kingdom of fool, it became like any other place. So finally what happened, that the wise guru and his disciple, they have accepted to become the king and the minister, and the whole kingdom was like any other kingdom. Okay, and in this way we have a happy ending of this lesson. So with this I complete my video here. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.